Good evening, everyone. Are we on?
You want to use mine? I wonder. Does this work? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. There you go. So. Well, you work now.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start the curriculum meeting. Buenas tardes. Good evening. It is 6 p.m. We're going to go ahead and begin the curriculum committee meeting. Roll call, please. Saúl Olivas.
Rani Valencia.
Mayra Reyes.
John Simpson.
Amy Engel.
Bob Halverson.
Thank you. We have no public comments. And then we'll go ahead and move up to the assessment updates.
That would be me. Today we're doing assessment updates. Every few years, assessments are normed in the state and across all the organizations. Norming of an assessment is done to ensure that an individual's performance on that assessment can be compared to their peers. This year, we have new norms for the Illinois State Board of Education assessments, including the Illinois Assessment of Readiness for grades 3 through 8, the Illinois Science Assessment for grades 5, 8, and 11, and the ACT for grade 11. We also have new norms for the NWEA MAP assessment, which is used as the reading and math benchmark assessment in District 131. So we're going to start first with the Illinois benchmarking changes. Illinois assessment benchmarks were found to be some of the most rigorous in the nation for both language arts and for math. This actually led students, schools, families, and communities to believe that students were not ready for college and careers after high school, although other indicators such as advanced placement courses, dual credit courses, and student enrollment in universities told a different story. Illinois sought to redesign the performance levels to ensure they more accurately reflected student readiness. In addition, the shift allowed all of our assessments to have a unified performance level. They're now above proficient, proficient, approaching proficient, and below proficient. What we notice is that these cut scores impact our students who are especially on the bubble. For example, a student who was approaching proficiency in ELA or math in the old assessment levels might now actually be labeled as proficient in the new levels. At the same time, a student approaching proficiency in science might remain at that same level because the norms became more rigorous, or they might even have dropped a little. This chart was shared by the Illinois State Board of Education to reflect or to illustrate how the new proficiency levels may impact outcomes at the state level. One caution, this is based off of preliminary data. This isn't final Illinois state data yet. But as you can see here, the preliminary Illinois ELA data indicates 53% of students are considered proficient, which is up by 12% from last year. 38% of students in math are proficient, up by 10%, and 45% of science students are proficient, which would have us down just a little bit from our past assessment because that one became a little bit more rigorous in the norms. To put it into perspective, let's take a look at two real EAHS examples. Both of these students had a higher than 4.0 GPA. Both of these students took 10 AP or dual credit courses in high school. Look at the impressive statistics for these students. Take a look at their post-EAHS outcomes. They had challenging 4+ year programs of study. They were enrolled in universities. They got scholarships. And yet, on the SAT, their scores indicated they were labeled as non-proficient. This is why that renorming process in the state of Illinois was so important. And it's part of our continued education and data work at the district level to make sure that we are consciously paying attention to these changes and looking at the impact. Now let's take a look at the NWEA MAP impact because they just renormed this year as well. MAP renormed their assessment because the average student changed and they wanted to make adjustments to align with that. In addition, they made some shifts in their math assessment and wanted to update the norms to align with that as well. Looking at the image on the slide, the pink bell curve represents the new norms and the black bell curve represents the prior norms. The pink bell curve has shifted downward, meaning students in general are performing at a slightly lower level than they might have been 5 years ago. Let's look at another representation. On this diagram, you can see how the change in the bell curve impacted students and how that might impact program decisions. The RIT scores or the raw scores in MAP for students didn't change, but the percentile rank for students did change. Some students will now have a higher percentile score than before, although their RIT score didn't change. And those might be the students in pink on this diagram. And others might have a lower percentile score, those students in blue on this diagram, even though their RIT score did not change. This is why it's so important for us to be conscious of this percentile change, pay close attention to the data that we have in MAP and the new norms, update new goals for students, and be sure we're serving the needs of the individuals. To summarize, the change with MAP, basically the same RIT score or raw score will now correspond potentially to a higher percentile rank than it did in the prior norming scales. So when we go to compare this year's data to prior year's data, we can compare RIT score to RIT score, no problem, but we can't compare percentile rank to percentile rank because those are slightly different. We'd have to pay close attention to that. Ultimately, it will be really important as these shifts have been made that we continue to review the data to ensure that we're monitoring that impact of those new norms on our students. We need to remember that the shift has had a larger impact on students who were previously in the lower achievement levels and some smaller shifts for those students at those higher achievement levels as well. We need to continue to review the data for those placement decisions with students and staff, and we should strive always for more than typical growth still so that we can continue to close achievement gaps. What questions can I answer about those shifts?
None at the moment. I think I was looking at some of this information. There was a lot to read, but I'm glad they're making some shifts for some of the students. I know there were coming some impact due to the COVID and some of that stuff. So it's good that they went back and kind of look at that information to see where we're at now.
Yeah, every year or every few years they do this, and this was a big change for us. So it was good that they did it at this time. Thank you.
All right, so we are excited to have our schools begin their school improvement presentations for this year. I will have Waldo's admin team come on up. So as we've highlighted previously, our schools have been engaging in the very critical work of designing their school improvement plans that have been focused on literacy, numeracy, and our culture for belonging. And this has allowed our schools to create new school improvement plans and new school improvement presentations. And in the process, our schools have been laser focused on both our student achievement percentages as well as showing more than that typical growth. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Waldo admin team.
All right. Thank you to the Board of Education, District Administration, Waldo community for allowing us to share our Waldo story. Our school improvement team is listed here, and today with us, I am the proud principal, Eileen Roberts. This is Sheila Armstrong, our assistant principal, Adrian Espinoza Zamora, assistant principal, Kyle Novak, dean of students, and our amazing Waldo staff that is here in the back with us. Thank you all for coming. We are excited to share our fundamental purpose and identity of Waldo. Our school improvement plan highlights our continuous vision and growth to our entire Waldo community. Through our school improvement planning team, we collaborated for multiple days. The teacher voice was at the forefront of our decision-making process to drive the instructional practices to help develop how our students are helped on a daily basis. In starting this process, we found that teachers found a sense of pride, and it really showed through the work that we will present today and will carry on throughout the year.
Waldo continues to show growth each year. Last year, every teacher was given reading strategies to support their specific content area. There was a universal focus on vocabulary. This resulted in a 4% increase in the growth for reading, in which we are proud of. During the 25-26 school year, our priorities will continue to grow students, but we will emphasize closing the achievement gap to get to proficiency. In order to obtain a 6% increase in proficiency in math and English language arts, we will need to help 42 or more students grow in math and reading.
So last year, unfortunately, we had about a quarter of our students who were chronically absent. That is students who missed about 10% of the school year. Our goal this year is to provide early intervention for those students and all students, identifying the students who need additional supports and learning through a variety of stakeholders. So one of the things that we're trying to do is relationship map with our teachers, students, and using our guidance counselors to provide early intervention and family supports. I'm pleased to announce, as of our day 15 data poll, That number, that 24%, has dropped by 4%, so we are on our way in the right direction.
So in order to help our students achieve a 6% increase in proficiency, all staff will be teaching standards at grade level and with fidelity to ensure every student has access to rigorous materials and the opportunity to ask questions that will prepare them to work in groups, as you can see in the picture in our presentation. So our goal is to support teachers through strategies that will help identify standards and align each lesson to learning levels to ensure rigor for our students.
Our professional learning communities will develop and write lessons that intentionally respond to our common formative assessments in order to remediate needs and extend learning for our students. The teachers will develop data-driven groups pinpointing specific skills in order to achieve mastery of grade level standards with the focus on our children with disabilities and our English language learners.
So adding to that, so we had a student that was assigned to a bilingual sheltered math class, and the 6th grade student advocated for himself to be placed in an ESL math class to strengthen both his language skills and his math abilities. So after reviewing the student's data and in conversation with the language acquisition team, we were able to transition the student to an empowering environment to encouraging his growth in both areas. So our student advocacy will continue to help close those learning gaps. Over the summer, our administrative team was afforded the opportunity to engage with Phil Bodie. He's a speaker and an author around culture and climate. We have incorporated the strategies and tools that were set forth in that foundation for a successful year. There is a famous saying, students don't know how much you care. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So we have used this foundation to catapult forward with positive relationships in order to engage students and cultivate success at higher academic levels. Our main focus is to cultivate a culture of belonging. We are taking a school-wide approach to carry this work throughout the year.
A quick anecdote that exemplifies this. We had a student who was chronically absent last year. They missed about 50 or 60 days. Through our first 5 days, had perfect attendance. We had a staff member notice that student and talk to that student and just say, thank you for coming to school. Since that time, that student has reached and was seeking out that staff member 3 or 4 more times to talk about their improved attendance, showing them their grade book, their straight A's. There was a story where she said she wasn't feeling up to going to school that day, but she wanted to come to school because she was looking to improve her attendance because Waldo was the place that she wanted to be.
Thank you for allowing us to share the Waldo story. We are excited for the work ahead.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, we will invite up the Cowherd Middle School team for their school improvement presentation.
Good evening, Dr. Halverson, curriculum, committee, and cabinet. Thank you, Derek. What a team. It's okay. It's all good. We appreciate it. We're going to roll with it. We are excited about the beginning of this great new school year. We are full into the month of September and already celebrating the successes we're having in our ABCs: attendance, behavior, course performance, AKA grades. As you can infer by our vests, we are about building learners and building their access to learning in a building where all belong. Noted on this page, if you would, I got it. You will see our school improvement team members, our vision and our mission. Our school leadership team is a group of staff members that represent the various viewpoints of CMS and those that were willing to engage in the critical work of education at Cowherd Middle School. In collaboration with our staff, we built a mission and vision that highlights our dedication to providing and supporting an inclusive environment where everyone is safe, valued, empowered, and learning, all while in a joyful and thriving place where everyone wants to be and feel that they belong. We provided this opportunity to get to know the building, to make that transition, to create a culture of belonging for our incoming sixth graders. As noted in the picture here, we sponsored a Cougar Camp this summer. So as we journey into, this tech stuff is good for me. Can I get the next slide? As we journey into this new school year, we hold memories of the growth our students made. However, we build our school improvement blueprint on our current reality. The data has become our area of focus in our 3 goals: literacy, numeracy, and building a culture of belonging. While every child deserves to grow a year, we're focusing in on achievement, proficiency, grade level scores. We want to build learners that are ready to lead and succeed in this dynamic world. And we understand on the next slide, to do this, our children have to be in the building. Every student, every day. We are in a September blitz on attendance with daily calls, parent meetings, all to remove the #1 barrier to academic success: absences. Bob the Builder says, can we fix it? Yes, we can. By focusing in on the data and what's working and Xing out what's not. The Cowherd team will share with you our school improvement blueprint. And by the way, I'm Principal Gibson.
Good evening. My name is Anna Heimberger, and as one of the assistant principals, I'm here to share how our school is working strategically to increase IAR achievement in literacy, specifically moving from 15.3% in 2024 to 21.3% by 2026 in students achieving above expected typical growth. Our focus is on closing achievement gaps through intentional research-based instructional practices. A core belief guiding our work is simple but powerful. Whoever is doing the talking is doing the learning. This aligns with John Hattie's research, which emphasizes that students must actively engage in talking, discussing, arguing, and explaining to truly internalize knowledge. Learning is most effective when it is done by students, not simply delivered to them. To that end, we are implementing several key strategies. Low-stakes academic discussions, especially at the beginning of the year, to build student comfort and confidence, as well as that sense of community, laying the foundation for effective collaboration. Emphasizing collaborative learning structures, where students learn through peer dialogue and shared problem solving, as shown in the image from a science class in our presentation. We're using feedback loops from both peers and teachers, where students engage in questioning, examining claims, and receiving encouragement and recognition for their effort and growth. We're also leveraging the iReady curriculum, which supports meaningful peer-to-peer academic conversations and provides data to help tailor instruction, which my AP counterpart, Veronica Zamora, will speak more about with our numeracy goal. Additionally, we have a targeted focus on our English learners and students with disabilities. By using talking stems, or structured sentence starters, we are promoting academic language use, increasing student confidence, and supporting full participation in classroom discussions. In short, we are creating a learning environment where every student has a voice, and where that voice is central to their academic growth. We believe these efforts will not only help us reach our IAR achievement goals, but also ensure that every student is equipped to engage, think critically, and succeed. Thank you for your continued support of our students, staff, and instructional vision.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Zamora. I'm the other assistant principal at Cowherd. At Cowherd, our numeracy goal aligns with our literacy goal to increase IAR achievement from a 5.7 to an 11.7% as part of closing the mathematic achievement gap. We will do this through supporting students to engage in purposeful questioning and discussion, fostering understanding and ownership of their own learning. As you can see in the picture, our students aren't just solving problems, they're collaborating, discussing ideas, and building new skills. As Ms. Heimberger shared, research shows that those who do the speaking do the learning, and that's exactly what we want our students to do. We want them to use their voice to question, debate, and discuss their learning. For us, this is not a one-time initiative, but a year-long focus on lasting success. We are equipping teachers with strategies like purposeful questioning, collaboration, and cross-linguistic connections through continuous professional development. This supports them to create interactive, student-centered lessons for all learners, including our English learners and children with disabilities. Together, we are building student and teacher capacity for long-term growth. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Derek Smith, and I'm the Dean of Students at Cowherd Middle School. I'm here to share how we are continually building a culture of belonging at Cowherd. One of our core beliefs is that when students feel a true sense of belonging at school, their engagement and ultimately their attendance naturally improves. When students want to be here, they show up, and that's the foundation for everything else we do. To cultivate this sense of belonging, we focus on making students active participants in their learning environment. We create classroom spaces where students feel comfortable, seen, and valued. Participation isn't just encouraged, it's essential to helping them connect, not just to the material, but to the school community as a whole. Another way we support student growth is by rethinking discipline. Rather than removing students from the learning environment through suspensions, we've implemented behavior academies. These will serve as restorative spaces where behavior challenges are reframed as learning opportunities. Students will reflect, reset, and return to class better equipped to succeed, not pushed further away. We also take a proactive team-based approach. Each week, our staff meets to focus on 3 pillars of student success: attendance, behavior, and course performance. During these meetings, we identify students who need extra support and put intentional systems in place such as check and connect and personalized follow-ups. When students are absent for multiple days, grade level counselors and teachers make direct personal phone calls to families. That communication ensures we stay connected and responsive. Finally, one of our early highlights this year was curriculum nights, where we created a photo wall that celebrated the diversity of our students and families. Each family had the opportunity to take a photo together, capturing a special moment that was then sent home. It was a small gesture, but it had a big impact, reinforcing the message that every student and family belongs here. Together, these efforts are helping to create a school culture where students feel connected, supported, and motivated to be their best. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, following up, we have Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, Dr. Erlenbaugh, here to discuss our partnership with Mutual Ground.
Hello and good evening. I'm here tonight to just address an expansion we would like to make with our Mutual Ground collaboration. We currently use Mutual Ground to provide our Aaron's Law training for our students in 6th through 12th grade. We are hoping to expand for our early learners to 5th grade. Right now, our in-building support, our social workers, our counselors provide this to our early learners to 5th grade, but there are a variety of barriers which has made that a challenge. And with that, we would look to expand, bring back in Mutual Ground, who can help eliminate those logistical barriers and communication barriers that have been presented with our own in-person staff providing that training. Are there any questions on the expansion? Thank you.
All right, and so now we're excited to welcome Ms. Martinez and Ms. Diaz up to give a presentation on our parent engagement and parent engagement events for this upcoming school year, or this current school year.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Halverson, Board of Education members, and Cabinet. District 131 has planned a series of district-wide events, family engagement events for 25-26 school year. Our highlights include our back to school fair, which was August 9th, which we gave a little over 3,000 backpacks to our students. Curriculum nights that are being held in the month of September, our fall festival, which is October 3rd, Parent University, which is November 8th, and Las Posadas, which is December 6th. Our Black History Month celebration is on February 26th. In addition to these major events, all schools will continue hosting coffee with the principal sessions, parent liaison trainings, and parent-teacher conferences to keep families informed and involved throughout the school year.
Okay, for the African American Parent Association, our AAPA, will focus on fostering family engagement, celebrating cultural identity, and supporting student success during the 2025-2026 school year. For the EA Dads group will focus on strengthening father engagement and building community and supporting student success throughout the 2025 and 2026 school year.
Our BPAC focus, our Bilingual Parent Advisory Council, which is led by Dr. Rita Guzman and her team. Their focus is to build stronger family connections by empowering bilingual parents and with resources, leadership opportunities, and collaboration. At the September BPAC meeting, Student Services will introduce a new Student Services parent group that will provide families with opportunities for collaboration, support, and a preview of the 25-26 school year Student Services Plan. Lastly, we cannot do this alone. This is our amazing team of parent liaisons that act as a bridge between families and schools. They share resources, encourage parent involvement, and help families navigate education opportunities to support student success. Does anybody have questions? Thank you. Thank you.
And our last item of the day is the attendance and enrollment report. As of last week on the 11th, we had 11,755 students enrolled. Attendance is currently at 93.54%, which is higher than last year at this same time. And then in our registration queue for grades K through 12, we only have 28 students. 4 of them are in progress and moving right along, and the other 24, we're just waiting for some documents from families. So doing great.
Any questions? All right, we would like to adjourn the curriculum committee meeting at 6:29. Thank you.